Hey, what is up guys? So we're going to be talking about the Dynamist archetype because I think it's a pretty decent archetype. They're getting more support in the future. And a lot of you guys like dinosaurs and machines, so it's their machine dinosaurs. Pretty cool stuff. And it can bust out one of the best cards in the game. One of the cards that basically was able to bring this out really quickly got that card banned, the Teller Knight Ptolemy. That got banned because essentially Cyber Dragon Infinity. And I'm surprised I haven't hit this card. I feel like this card is just, it's too good to bust out first turn. So this is technically also a deck profile, but it's more so a discussion in addition to it. The way I've designed this deck is literally to throw out Cyber Dragon Infinity turn 1, have either Solemn Notice or Effect Village in your hand, or Ghost Target, and you win the game. The majority of the decks just can't deal with Infinity and another answer. Like Infinity plus another answer equals sometimes you just lose. That's just how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, because Infinity, like I said, the reason why that other card got wrecked was because Infinity is so dang easy to make with just getting 3 level 4 monsters, bam. Anyways, so let's talk about how the Dynamist archetype works. So it's a Pendulum deck that revolves around the level of 5 and the scales of 3 and 6. Right now we don't have all the cards. There's some cards here. I'll explain why we have them in here in a second. The support is going to make Dromorilla much more viable, and I just have him in here because I'm testing it out with him. They also have some other effects where you can attack once again in a row, and other little effects here. But for the most part, it just busts out Cyber Dragon Infinity. There's another cool card I'll talk about once we get to it. But the scales are 6 and 3, and all the levels of the monsters are 5 as of right now. Of course, this can change in the future with the other support. The new support card, basically, if it kills something, you are able to add a Dynamist card from your deck to your hand. That's why Dromorilla is so amazing with that boost of 600 attack, because I think the boost of 600 attack is just awesome just to have just in general. Because sometimes, Cyber Dragon Infinity can get low on attack after, you've negated so much. You just be able to not only absorb again, and then you're also able to make sure this card can actually survive, which is pretty good, because once per turn, when an attack is declared involving a monster you control, an opponent's monster, you can target that monster you control and gain 600 attack. It makes Infinity just so much better. It's crazy how good this card is, and it's searchable off of this, and this can allow you to go into rank 4, specifically this card, and maybe this card over here. But for the most part, this archetype, it just makes Infinity. You can make it do other things, but pretty much I'd say you're going to be using it to make Infinity. Anyways, so they all have Pendulum effects that actually kind of protect the Dynamist, and they also have other little bonus effects. Some of them special summon themselves. The other one lets you add, but for the most part, the Pendulum effect is that before resolving a card effect with the scale of 6, if something is going to target another Dynamist card you control, you can negate the effect, then destroy this card. This effect can only be used once while it's in the Pendulum zone. We'll get into why this is really good later on. And then this one over here, if another Dynamist card or cards you control would be destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead. So what you do is make it so Torrential and Bottomless unaffected by Pendulums. Pendulums lose to Bottomless Torrential, but now don't worry about it, it's fine. You have the ability just to be not counting that card, but yeah. This card is really good to protect you against Bottomless and stuff like that. But because they're getting destroyed, they actually get a bonus effect off of the charge. So the 6 scales have the same effect, the 3 scale has the same effect. If they make any other ones in the future, they might have other effects. But for the most part, that's what you need to know for the deck to function relatively well. You need to complete your scale and then just go for, basically these. You can make other things, but they're not that viable. Let's be realistic. Infinity is so good that you win the game once you go for them. But they are also water, which we'll get into later, which actually kind of helps another card. But this is an early deck profile. I'm just kind of messing around with stuff. And like I said, Dromorilla will be the best card ever once we get the other card. I'm playing through Galaxy Soldier because you send a light. I do play a lot of lights in here anyways, but for the most part, you just Pendulum it and then it gets its effect and you add another Galaxy Soldier. Pretty unfair. It lets you bust out multiple Infinities relatively quick. If you go turn 1, you're able to bust out double of these, you win the game. That's just how this card is. We've got multiple Dromorillas. I have 3 of these. You can search them off of the Acrobat Joker, and in addition to that, they are a scale of 2, which actually helps out. So, if you really wanted to, you could maybe get out something else. But for the most part, you're able to get out level 4s and level 5s. That's all it's really used for, but there's a bonus effect with this. Not only is it searchable by this card, and it's not like these have to be Dynamist and your Pendulum zone is Pendulum Dynamist. You could just use this guy in the level 6. There's also the lack of the level 3, so that's why he's kind of also here, plus he's searchable. Very nice stuff. He's amazing because that 600 attack will, like I said, it'll help Infinity. It's amazing. Just do not skip out on this card. if you're playing it right now. Later on, yeah, you can totally swap it out once we get the other stuff. But the other stuff's going to make this card even better. Anyways, Geyser Shark. This card's really awesome. You banish it from the graveyard, plus it's a level 5, so you just Pendulum for it. So anyways, you go to banish it from your graveyard after you've, of course, already made some cheeky stuff. Like I said, watch the Modolce video. You can see how you can basically make double of these. It's really unfair. This card has an amazing effect. Negates everything your opponent has on their monster sides of the field. That's what you can do to kind of deal with some of the other archetypes. But this is an amazing effect. But yeah, Geyser Shark, you banish it, you summon 2 water, so you summon 2 Dynamist, and then you immediately exceed into Freezer Dawn, and then it goes into Crystal Zero Lancer. So this card will have, you have to destroy this card 4 times, and then on top of that, he gets to negate everything, and it gains attack. It's like 3,700 when it comes out. It's a freaking boss. 37, and it negates stuff when you detach. It will technically lose 500, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be 32. At that point. But I'm just playing 1 of him because you want the deck to be fast. Originally I was playing 3, but you can get kind of clawing hands. But for the most part, he's pretty awesome. Next up, I decided to go Solar Windjammer just to make the deck as quickly as possible because there's the downside to them. You can only control 1 of them. You can drop 1 of these if you want to, but like I said, the goal is to just bust out Infinity as quickly as possible, so he helps out with that. You can also try like Cyber Dragon if you want. I like him because you could go turn 1. And just not have anything, just bam, special summon it. Next up, 3 Acrobat Joker. It's a level 4 monster. It helps with Castell. Castell helps against problematic cards. Plus, you can Castell before you go for the Infinity to get rid of other awkward stuff. But yeah, 3 Acrobat Joker. Then 2 Star Drawings. You can bump it up to 3 if you want. Amazing, amazing card for the draw power. And you don't really use your normal summon in this deck other than Acrobat Joker, so it's really, really good. And you can still Pendulum this card. Next up, I'm playing 3 of these. This can stop things that are going to stop this. I'm playing 3 Veiler and 3 Ghost Ogre because protecting this equals, well, I basically win the game because this card is amazing. And then I'm playing 2 Maxi just to speed up the deck just a little faster. Actually I was playing 3 at one point because I wanted to draw into all my cards just to be like, bam, Pendulum summon, you know, I'll play. And then 3 Veiler, like I said, protect this card is pretty good. 3 Wavering Eyes, Pendulum deck. 3 Dynamist Charge, it searches 1. And okay, here's the bonus effect. If this card is actually, well, once it's face up, because it's continuous, like Tenki, it gets bonus effect. So, if a Dynamist card is added from the field to your extra deck, you get to add 1 of those cards to your hand. That's really, it's where it makes the deck. This makes the deck so much better. And then lastly, we have 3 Solemn Notice because the card is so broken. Like, oh my gosh, why is this card at 3? It needs to be banned or at 1. It probably will just go to 1. I guarantee you guys, this card will go to 1. Alright, so I was playing Ciphering Lord Omega, but pretty much I felt like, nah, most of the time, it's a good card. If you guys want to swap the extra deck, feel free to do so. Play 1 Geyser Charger, 2 of these, and then 2 of these, because 2 of these makes 2 of these. Put them right next to that. This card, you make it, you win. Volcasaurus, pretty good card. This card's required for this card. Then I'm playing 2 Castells. You could swap it out if you want, but I feel like Exciton Knight, you shouldn't lose advantage in this. So if you lose advantage, you lose the game. You don't really make rank 4s, but Castell is just the best, and then Dweller's kind of good too. And then I have 2 of the Magic Spectre Paladins, the Soaring Draco Slayer. This card is freaking amazing. It's got decent attack, but when it's Exposé Summon, you can activate this effect during the end phase. Add any Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. Is that fair? No, not at all. It is super unfair. Because like, basically Acrobat Jokers are useless. Yeah, you can keep on Pendulum summoning them, but like I'd rather just Pendulum summon them, add 1 of the Dynamist cards, and I'm able to make Infinity, and you win the game. So basically, it's a speed version of the deck, but I kind of want to talk about the Archetype. Do I think it's going to be meta? I don't know, unless they give, if they give them enough Pendulum monsters to make it so you can just consistently throw out double Infinity, you can just win the game. But I still think the Magic Spectres are a pretty strong deck too. The Magic Spectres are probably going to be able to beat this deck just because that deck has higher consistency because everything's like it just searches immediately. But if you technically just go Infinity, yeah, you can wreck that deck relatively quick too. But anything can throw out double Infinity turn 1, yeah, of course you can win the game. But let me know, guys, what are your thoughts on this actual archetype? Personally, like I said, it's kind of a discussion video. I feel like if they give them like a bunch of level 3s and a bunch of level 6s, you could just throw them all together in the deck and just be like, Pendulum and double Infinity, go ahead. It's really annoying. Especially when you can make an Infinity and then set Solemn Notice. It is the most nightmare thing to run into because it's like, yo, you want to Regeki me? Okay, negate. Okay, you want to get a monster that's going to do Infinity? Negate it. And then, like, they're passed. And then you still have Infinity that has 2 effects. It's just... It's really nasty to run into. But if you guys have any suggestions for this like little early deck profile / discussion, I'd like to know what other combos you guys know of, what other cards would work well. Like Geyser Shark, totally random. It's not even meant for like, you know, Dynamist, but it works really, really well because you just get this card that has 37 attack. It has to be destroyed 4 times. Because every time it would be destroyed, you attach one instead. Like I said, you could probably make the extra deck a little bit better. I mean, if you want to throw that card, you probably don't need multiples of these. You can probably swap it out. If you want Excited Knight, go for it. It's still an excellent card, but I feel like this deck, it doesn't really use that like mechanic of like losing advantage very well, because you need a complete Pendulum Skeleton. You just throw out stuff and you just like win the game because of it. But definitely keep in 3 Veilers. In a deck that needs to spam this, 3 Veilers, in my opinion, is just so advantageous because you use a lot of your opponent's resources. And what I love with the Veiler that you don't get with Ogre is sometimes they're activating something to like absorb it. If you're able to negate that effect and Cyber Dragon Infinity still has enough attack, granted keep in mind you're going to be boosted up by another 600, you're able to absorb that monster, and absorbing the monster is actually really good because that's more negations and more attack. Very strong advantage indeed. But anyways, like I said, let me know your thoughts on Dynamist because I haven't really covered them at all. I think they're a good little archetype that can potentially win. Again, you just gotta make that affinity turn on. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. It's been your boy Will Smith, signing out.